Welcome to the corner Crossup. I go by Shuckleburg, and I'm here with Lucky Tempest, and we're here to bring you some sick info and knowledge about fighting games. Hopefully, bi-weekly if we can do it. This will be our first of many episodes, hopefully, and we hope you stick around to learn some things or two.
I agree. I'm lucky, as Shuckle had said. Shuckleberg so kindly introduced me. Some of you may or may not already know me if you're coming from my Twitch channel and or YouTube, but I spend a lot of time in the fighting game scene, whether it's on Twitter, engaging in the lovely discourse and or sharing art constantly 24/7, and of course playing the games.
I'm just a natural fighting game enjoyer myself, so.
True. Funnily enough, you're actually the one that got me into fighting games.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you. Just this time, though. We'll see. The next time I have to fight against
the next time
Slayer,
I play Slayer, you'll
yeah. Listen, as long as you don't complain about Ram, we're chilling.
I never complain about Ram.
All right, so we roll. No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say roll the footage. I'm sure I've got
roll the footage.
Sure, I've got some somewhere.
Man, when do I get to play the fucking game?
Exactly.
So for starting out, I like to just briefly go over our individual history in the fighting game community and fighting games in general. Naturally, starting with Melee, like a lot of people, and we're going to presume that Melee is a fighting game.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd say Smash is a fighting game.
It's a fighting game. It's got frame data, right?
Yeah, it's got frame data. It's got RPS. It's got neutral, advantage, disadvantage. It's got all the things.
It's got throws, right? It's just a platform fighter.
Yeah,
that's all.
So now that we've
no need to get your panties in the knot.
Yep. Now we've quashed that. We can go on.
We can continue. And from Melee, we went to Shuckleburg 2, which was my first, quote unquote, more challenging fighter, right? Because Melee wasn't really fleshed out until, God, I want to say 2007, 2008.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the timeline there, but as far as traditional fighters go, that would be more of a traditional fighter. I've been meaning to ask you, what version did you play on? I gotta know what console.
Oh yes, what was my DLC character? GameCube.
Real? Oh, the Link. Yeah, the Linkening, baby. Let's go.
The Linkening. Yeah. But I did try out a lot of characters. I wasn't just sitting on Link the entire time. I played through pretty much everything I could for the story. So
that's awesome.
I did enjoy Shuckleburg 2. Going on further, I didn't really touch fighting games for a hot minute until we got to the 360 era, and we went to Shuckleburg 4, which I played a ton of. Actually, Shuckleburg 4 is the first game I actually played online and more so competitively. Back when we had game battles. Do you remember the game battles? The MLG
actually
website.
That was all.
You don't remember? Yeah. We all had game battles, and we got it. It was okay. The issue was there was no spectator. So right. So it's your word versus them when you report like if you won or not.
That's really annoying.
Yeah. So I quickly noticed that after like 2 times of doing it, and a no-show reporting for no fucking reason. So easy answer. No more game battles. I'm just gonna go watch kids online with my Lizard Man combos.
My Lizard Man you would be a Lizard Man player.
Lizard Man was really good in Shuckleburg 4. 5, not so much. But Lizard Man was fun because it was like the best of like Cassandra and Sophia mix. Then after that we had MK9. Because MK9 was surprisingly hype when you see Johnny Cage and Melina doing, 90% combos and you're just in the air, bro.
All
that as well.
The Tekken juggles in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, MK9 was a different beast, but I mostly played against the online Scorpions who have used the lag.
Oh, that's
from there we moved on to the hypest game, UMVC 3.
Okay.
Which I want to attribute to early growth of the fighting game scene in general. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
From UMVC 3. Actually, UMVC 3 was the first game I actually participated in an in-person tournament.
Okay, what team did you use?
I believe I was doing Amaterasu, Doom, and Thor.
Doom and Thor, okay.
And just a quick clarification. The cheese is that you could use, or it might have been, it was Thor with Subtrish. The cheese is that you could use Doom's THC with Ami's THC, and Ami's THC is so long that you can go to the bathroom, come back, and then mix people on Doom while he's on screen.
Jesus. I'm sure they loved that. I'm sure competitors were a fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, the scene was actually really good where I went.
Okay.
Like, it was actually like very competitive. I didn't place well, but it was like my first traditional fighting game in-person tournament, and then I played melee pools on the side.
It's pretty hype.
And all I wanted to do in melee pools was land a drift Falcon reverse B in the air.
Excuse me. No, that's understandable.
I landed one and I was happy.
You never forget about it.
And then my first look at 2D fighters would be pretty close. I played on and off BlazBlue Continuum Shift.
Okay.
Was my first like really, keep it tight, learn your combos, learn your strings fighter. Because Marvel UMVC 3 had that, but it was more, I want to see gimmicks.
Huh, that's interesting. I would almost argue that a lot of fighting games is overcoming your opponents and characters' gimmicks as a whole, and like forcing them to play. I don't want to say like an honest game, but forcing them to pull more tools out of their bag or rely less on the scrub killer gimmicks. But yeah, I can see how an older game like UMVC 3 would be like that, heavier as a tag fighter for sure.
Well, when I went to the tournament, we had infinite TACs, and we had the Doom combos were on lock, right?
Right.
So that was after Marlon Pie discovered the infinite TAC glitch in 2013. It was very like fresh and new, but like it was very recent at the time. And then from there we go to BlazBlue Continuum Shift. Sorry for the delay. I have to remember which one it is. The naming convention is very simple at
BBC something.
BBCT, BBCS, BBCF, BBC
CT.
P.
Oh,
as P before F. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Tag, which is the first one that actually has something different. But yep. And then from BBCS, we returned back to Soul Calibur on 5, which 5 had a very rough start. There was a lot of things like if you got punished for blocking in 5, which was crazy. Yeah, you were negative on block.
That just sounds like poor game design.
It was poor game design. They had to patch it after 6 months or so, but it was a rough environment to learn the game in.
Oh my god!
And then you couple that with the rough story, but the net play was actually really good in 5. Surprisingly, it's probably the best net play so far at the time.
That's actually really important, but yeah,
it is really important. Yeah,
damn.
Because nowadays we have rollback, and it's like my input's still on through. That feels good. It just came out, 3 seconds later. And then we have on Game Pass. I got my first taste of Ultra Street Fighter 4. Which,
oh my god!
Yeah, I did not know what I was doing, but I mean, there was such a huge roster. You had a lot of time to just like mess around and like get a taste of it, which was cool. Me on my Mad Catz, that dead company. Then my Mad Catz 360 stick, trying to do inputs and wondering why they're not coming out right.
I wonder.
From Ultra Street Fighter 4, we have Pokken, which is the next chronological game, right?
Ooh.
Pokken was fun. I played a lot of Pokken. The only thing I never liked about Pokken was that I wanted the 2D fighting to be longer.
Yeah.
And it was just like, if you got grabbed, it forced it out, and then you had to play this weird bullet hell game. I wasn't a fan of it.
Okay.
But the combos felt really good in Pokken. I'm never going to knock that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And being able to do a Mishima Electric God Fist on a Pokemon's hilarious.
I was a Weevil player, so.
Okay.
I was doing some air footsies with the ice stall. Yeah.
You were having
fun stuff. I was having fun. Yeah. That and Garchomp. Ooh. Which Garchomp was just a menace everywhere.
Yeah, he was.
Early on.
Yeah.
From Pokken, we go to Dragon Ball Fighters.
I did not know you played Fighters.
I have like all the DLC except for Lab Coat.
Huh.
Yeah, I played a bit of fighters. I actually used to stream fighters.
Okay.
It was fun.
Yeah, I used to stream fighters before your Dead by Daylight run. Oblivion.
Man, the hardest L I ever took.
Yeah.
Uh, from Dragon Ball Fighters, we go to Soul Calibur 6, which I didn't play a whole lot of Soul Calibur 6, but I did get to mess around and enjoy some of the funny things, like Astaroth just yeeting you off the stage.
So good.
It's really good. Then we have Smash Ultimate,
Yep.
which we've played a lot of Smash Ultimate. I've played too much Smash Ultimate.
No comment.
I don't need to play it anymore. I'm good.
Yeah.
We also have Blaze Blue Cross Tag.
Uh-huh.
Man, I loved Cross Tag.
It's so
It's
much
a shame
fun.
that the game didn't really take off more, but I think it was just in Japan. There's still tournaments. I think in Japan, like they love that game.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. That shit's hype.
It's very hype, and there's like a lot of technical like verticality to it in terms of like tag and assists and delayed tag combos. You can do some amazing things.
It's visually appealing too, which is huge.
True, and there's not as much clutter as you'd think there would be for a tag fighter.
Right. I agree.
Because what was it? MVC2 had a ton of clutter. UMVC3 has a lot of clutter as well.
Yeah, I mean, playing MVC2 right now, I could tell you it's night and day between that and BB Tag. It's not even close. BB Tag, you can actually see what's happening.
And then from there we have Guilty Gear Strive, which we currently play the most of, I want to say.
I'd agree with that.
Grinding combos and finding new mains every other month. And then after Guilty Gear Strive is Street Fighter 6, which is I think the Street Fighter I played the most of. I wasn't a huge fan of 5, but 6 was really tight. My only issue with 6 being, input buffering, but that's just how the game works.
Yeah.
I personally feel input buffering should be very, forgiving. But that's my opinion. So that's pretty much the main gist of it. I do play a couple other fighting games here and there just to try them out.
Yeah.
Expand the horizon, if you will. But so I have a pretty vast history playing fighting games, despite not going to as many tournaments as I'd like.
I think that's fair. For me, it's less of a storied history, I would say. I mean, I played hyper casually through my childhood up into my adulthood, honestly. I partook in the smashes from 64 to Melee to Brawl to Wii, all of them, right? I did those. I had my time in Soul Calibur 2. It's actually funny. I had the PS2 and the GameCube version. And then I occasionally
you had the Heihachi.
Yeah. And then I even rented out the Xbox version twice. So that was fun. And I played other fighting games here and there. I had a MVC2 disc. A buddy of mine gave me their CVS2 before they moved away, so I got to play that. There's just a few other things, but I was never I was the kind of person that you'd be like, what the fuck is this kid doing? He's literally just smashing his face into the controller. I didn't understand combos or blocking or really doing special move inputs was a foreign concept to me. If I got one, great. If I didn't, oh well. I was just happy to be here.
I'd say I'm under a similar vein of thought here. I would argue I didn't really get combos down until Soul Calibur 4, and then BlazBlue really cemented it into me. It's like, here's how you do a special, here's how you cancel, here's how you do a tire knee cancel, so you get in the air, short hop. Yeah, you learn a lot of that stuff. Mostly from 2D fighters.
Right. I would say. But yeah, so from there, I mean, I just kind of I jumped around from games, and I always had I would say I always had appreciation for them. But by and large, I never really played against people. I never really played online. In fact, most of my fighting games, once I finished the single player content, I was done. Usually within 8 to 20 or so hours, I pretty much moved on and played RPGs and whatnot. And then one day, I got for whatever reason, I can't remember the exact reason, but a local Smash head got me to play some Smash 4, and I wound up dropping probably 4,000 hours into the game. I went to multiple tournaments, placing anywhere from dead last in the beginning all the way up to, multiple top eights, winners, the whole thing, grand final winner, all the places. And I pretty much used Charizard and Yoshi the entire way. Towards the end, I would pick Cloud for certain counter picks, but that was very far and few between. I almost always used Yoshi and Charizard. Then,
Man, you talking about your local Smash head like he's a drug dealer.
yeah,
Yeah, he got me into it. And I'm 4,000 hours deep.
yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I so actually how it happened was I was like, fighting games feel too restrictive to me. They don't feel free like, adventure action games. And he was like, bet, go to a tournament with me, see what these people are doing. And that was kind of like the gateway drug for me.
Yo,
Now,
come watch these goons
yeah,
battle it out.
watch these 18 Bayonettas and Diddy Kongs whoop each other's ass for 10 hours.
I think you played after Bayonetta dropped, right? Yeah.
I played before and after. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like right before Bayo.
You were in the trenches.
Yeah. I mean, but the funny thing was like Charizard actually had a pretty decent matchup into Bayo as long as you wanted one neutral once. Once you had Bayo off stage with Charizard, it was actually not that bad, but winning neutral felt fucking impossible. But yeah, so that was like the start of everything. Unfortunately, during that time, I still didn't really like traditional fighters. At events, I would go casually try some out, and I always left feeling dissatisfied. So one day, Shuckle actually convinced me to get Uni and try it with him. And I was
No, it
drawing.
wasn't Uni.
I thought it was
Pretty
Uni
certain I
first.
sent you the trailer for Guilty Gear Strive, and like, this game looks sick.
Yeah, but I didn't play that one first. I remember it being
That's
Uni
true.
because I was like, yeah, this game looks all right. It looks really, really cool. The characters look sick. The music is sick. I don't think Strive was out though yet. I think that was the thing. I think we were planning on getting it. And I was like,
I think we were planning on getting it, and I think the beta, what was it? The beta for the online experience was coming out.
yeah, it was coming, but I was like, what should I play in the meantime? And you're like, well, Uni's on sale. And I was like, bet. So I just got Uni. And we booted up, and I remember I looked at the characters and I was like, who is this little emotionless shithead with the wings? I'm gonna try them. Batista. And it turns out Batista was a charge character. I fucking hated that, but I still played the character. And I tried like Wagner and Onase and stuff. But the game, like slowly after about 10-15 hours, I was like, you know what? This shit's kind of fun. It didn't feel super fun immediately, but I was like, this shit's kind of fun. Then Guilty Gear Strive dropped, and my world lit up. It was like when Dorothy stepped out of the fucking house for the first time in The Wizard of Oz. I know this is a deep cut, but it went from a black and white movie to a colored movie. I was like, holy shit, this is the sickest thing on this earth. And then Guilty Gear Strive just became crack to me, and it was my favorite thing in the world. I played nothing else. In fact, all I streamed during the beginning time was just Strive. And that probably would still be the case if they didn't wind up having issues after introducing crossplay and whatnot with their netcode. And then like Hacker Man, there was like a bunch of issues that essentially made it impossible to play the game for a while. So I was forced to take a hiatus, and I was like, all right, what do I play? In that time, I tried Grand Blue Versus before Rising came out. I was like, this is fine, but I hate the delay based netcode. I tried Street Fighter V. I was miserable. I put 20 hours into the game to force myself to like it. There wasn't a single time I had fun. So I was like, all right, moving on. And then I just kind of like kept trying games. Obviously,
Yeah, you actually tried Third Strike for a little bit there too, I believe.
yeah, I
You're
was
kind of getting
doing
into it.
Third Strike on Fightcade. I was having fun with that. That was actually really fun. Um, there was a bunch. I mean, if I look at my library now, I can see that there's a ton of games that I was working on. But ultimately, what wound up happening was, well, Guilty Gear got more or less fixed. So I went back to Guilty Gear. But
It's gotten better.
yeah, it's gotten much better. And then, I've put some time into Skullgirls, not a lot, but I did that. I tried Tekken for a little bit. It was good. It wasn't for me. I've tried all these fighting games, but ultimately I stuck with Guilty Gear. Now, since then, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising came out. I put a good amount of time into that. I do rather well in that. And Street Fighter 6 has come out, and I've been putting more time into that recently, just to kind of prep for more, traditional fighters as it is. But as far as my tournament experience goes, by and large, all of my fighting game tournament experience has either been Smash Brothers or Guilty Gear Strive. I did enter a Ultimate Marvel, or sorry, a Marvel Infinite tournament as like a
You
last minute
poor
joke.
fool.
I got absolutely decimated. It was fun though. I've entered multiple Strive tournaments, both when I first started playing and actually when I got like quote unquote good. It's just really better. Had plenty of 0 and 2s, but ever since then, I've essentially had a curse that I haven't been able to break because I don't enter tournaments enough, where I call it the ninth place curse. Doesn't matter the size of a tournament. There can be 600 entrants. There can be 48. I'm getting ninth place.
You should just go to Evo if you're gonna get ninth place. It just makes your life easier.
I know.
You actually get a little payout.
I know it's been tough. It's been tough. But my goal for this upcoming year, once Dizzy drops, is to actually grind Dizzy and get out of ninth place with Dizzy. That'll be my reward to myself.
Pray do tell she's not a zoner only.
If she's a zoner only, then I just got to deal with it. I'm gonna have to just deal with it. I mean, I finally just this year, within the past 3 months, got down how to play a rushdown properly. This whole time I've been playing like set play, mix heavy characters, or just like mid dispensers that rely on frame traps. So, it's I've been broadening my horizons a lot as a fighting game player this year, for sure.
Yeah, frame traps is something I need to work on a bit more, not just my cancel combos.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good. I do agree that like I think my biggest regret is like I didn't get to play a lot of the good games like Third Strike. I didn't get to play what was it? I didn't get to play Central Fiction at its height because Central Fiction, but that was more so that the game only released in Japanese,
Right.
and it was really awkward to acquire in the US at the time.
So
yeah, I mean Central Fiction was really good. It's still really good. I think people still play that more than BB Tag in the West here.
that's what I've noticed. It's easier to find matches for it.
I wish I committed to Pokken a bit more, but I didn't want to destroy my Joy-Cons at the time.
Understandable.
They're not really made for fighting games, sadly.
No, not in the slightest.
And then I think my only other regret is I just didn't go to enough tournaments. I didn't really commit to it as much as I should have because it's not like I don't have the talent to do lab combos and get in there and mix people all day. It's just I don't progressively attend these things that I enjoy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's for me at least, it's making time. I mean, between being a salary and family man, and then stream and editing and writing books, and also just trying to maintain some level of competitive viability in fighting games, I feel like, which has been impossible, especially if I want to play multiple games. It's tough. It's tough to find time to go to a fucking 4 p.m. tournament, or get there at 9 a.m. when you have work. So it's tough. It's tough for sure.
We need those local late night salty first to 5 match rooms,
Yeah.
Not have to book a ticket to Evo and then do it in the hotel.
Yeah, I think my favorite memory of like a tournament was somebody was like, you're not shit, money match me. I was like, bet $50. They're like, nah, double it or nothing. And I was like, all right, $100. See you there at this time. And I was at the setup and I kept messaging him. I'm like, where are you, bro? And then I went into the Discord and I just like added him and I was like, hey, I'm here for our money match. Where are you? And he was like, oh, some came up. I was like, Very dead. People are
yeah, my bank account has a donut in it.
yeah, that was pretty good. I'll never forget that. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of it can be attributed to the state of play, right? I mean, like we watched. I think streaming just really brought fighting games forward a lot. 2011, I think, was like when streaming was like brand new, and like I think that was the first streamed Evo. And then we go into like 2012, 2013, and now we have UMBC 3 with like Skeet, Sonic, and I think Yipes was commenting at the time.
I'm not sure, but yeah, no, the streaming atmosphere for fighting games is insane. I mean, Sajam just finished up his Sajam Slam, He got, to work with Capcom and Twitch for the TwitchCon event for the finals for that. That's insane. That never would have happened a decade ago, you know?
Mm. I mean, the first Evo was like 40 contestants in 1996, and
That's wild.
some weird area of California.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
That's actually crazy, right? And then like that 40 became like 700 like 7 years later, and then in 2010 they're hitting the thousands, you know. So it's and then recently in 2023 there was 9,000 plus contestants across like all 8 games.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And that's just contestants. They sell participation tickets too to show up.
Right.
So like
Yeah, that's the thing. Still a
that's the
spectator
thing, right?
event. Yep.
So it's pretty cool to see that kind of growth for a very what was once considered the nichest style genre of gaming, right?
Right. And the thing is too, we don't even just have the once a year event. We've got all the events from the different companies, whether it's Arc Revo or Capcom World Tour. Then we've got people like doing Frosty Faustings. We got CEO Taku,
Defend the North,
Defend the North, Combo Breaker. There's a bunch of them. So
absolutely.
they all have big turnouts, which is phenomenal. It's great. It just shows how far the scene's come and where the interest level is at.
They all have big turnouts and a couple broken chairs.
And a couple fucking crabs. But it's just nice. It's nice to see that a grassroots, I don't want to say industry, but a grassroots community has made it to where they have in 2024.
Yeah, it's like seeing your favorite band get grow up, you know?
Yeah.
Your favorite local band.
Yeah, grow up and not suit up with a underage minor.
Man, the parallels there are wild.
I know. There's always one, at least.
Crazy. I think a lot of it's also partially in thanks to the casters as well. Casting wasn't really, considered a thing for fighting games.
And I would say it wasn't taken that seriously for a long time either. It was very casual.
No.
And now you've got people that make careers out of it, but you also got
We had 1 year where ESPN broadcasted the finals of Street Fighter.
Did they really?
Yes, ESPN was co-streaming Evo.
They're probably like, what this dude doing?
I'm just thinking of the intended audience. I'm like, they don't know jack, but they're witnessing it firsthand, and it's kind of interesting. It's like a shock value kind of thing.
It really is. That's wild. No, but yeah, being a commentator is crazy because like you have to be, well, if you don't want to spread information, you have to be at a specific level of understanding. And I feel like we should save the deep dive of this conversation for another time.
Oh, absolutely. But a nice surface glance is definitely required here.
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely have to have a certain level of understanding of both the game you're commentating and the whole scope of fighting games is a broad whole. But then it's not just that. Like, it's one thing to know what you're talking about, but it's another thing to set the scene. It's another thing to bring the hype, create the storylines all in real time while these people are doing 13 frame attacks, 6 frame, 8 frame attacks to each other.
Oh yeah, doing a play-by-play is probably harder than like a MOBA play-by-play.
Oh yeah, the actions permitted are insane. And and again, there's especially with, like, for example, Evo that just happened not too long ago. Punk won Street Fighter. Some of the callouts they had for that grand finals were insane, and some of those callouts wouldn't have existed if the commentators didn't do their research or they weren't there previously to know what Punk had been through and what the competition had been through up until that point. So that kind of insight is extremely important to heightening the experience as a whole. And I feel like we did not have that in the scene for a long time.
No, I mean there's like the tales. Like I think the first time I ever watched Blaze Blue Continuum Shift tournament, it was like finals, and there was this Hakumen player, and they called him the Wall because his blocking was so clean that you couldn't get a hit in on him, and if you were bad on your strings, he would just throw up the drive parry, and you were getting slammed, and it was entertaining to watch. I think that was like the first memory of good commentary that I can think of for a fighting game, where I was like, wow, That's sick. They told the narrative. I got to see it live in the finals.
Right,
It's
right.
a good time. But I also do think that like the players just write the story themselves sometimes.
Yeah, especially.
Sometimes you see a first to 10 that becomes a first to 11, and
Oh
there's
no.
a big zero on the other side.
Yeah.
Other times, someone will run their mouth and call someone free, and then all of a sudden they're writing checks they can't cash.
Yo.
So I love seeing that kind of stuff. Uh, God, sometimes you get the Bizarro Flame call out.
Happens to the best of them. And then you get the old man Viscount versus low tier god.
Oh my
That's
God,
always going
this
to be a
con.
classic to me.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
This
why.
con is such a G.
Yup.
I think he's still hosting WNF. I'm not positive,
I'm not sure. It's been a
but
minute.
it's been a hot minute. Wouldn't know where to find the gameplay for that because usually Spooky had it. But speaking of Spooky, man, credits to the OG. He really pushed for a lot of things.
Yeah, paved a lot of the groundwork for what we see
Paved a lot of the
today.
ground, put
Yep.
a focus on stream quality and like commitment.
Yep.
You know,
Consistency, production value, all of it.
he's the reason we have You're All Free now.
Yup. Cut out
You
at
gotta
the
watch that
end.
movie sometime. It's a good one.
Is it?
It's a good one to like have a couple drinks and watch or something. You know, like.
So for those of you that don't know, at the end of Bailey's event, at the very, very end, he'll play a clip where it's just this guy breaking down a wall saying, "You're all free now." That everybody on the stream and at the event goes home, they log off or whatever. And it's just kind of been how it is every single event. And chat will spam, "Please set us free. Please set us free. Let us go home. My wife and kids need me." And it's from a movie. So it's just funny.
It's the best.
Just one of those
Absolutely is.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else I could really talk about in terms of the growth of the FGC? I guess it'd be more commitment from the developer side, right?
Yeah, I would say we've had better communication in recent years, even if some developers leave a lot to be desired from time to time. I'm not naming names because maybe a sponsorship one never. It's the
Hit us up.
the fact of the matter is, we have relatively consistent developer backyards from these different companies, or the meeting of the minds. There's these events where Harada and Capcom's developer and a bunch of different people get together for food and drinks or whatever and talk about where their heads are at on things, which is really, really cool. And then we're getting all these surveys all the time, which we get to fill out, and they're clearly keeping track of these surveys, right? So
Do you think they do little in-house tournaments when they all get together?
I think
they
so.
pull a random fighting game out of the hat and they're like, Tekken Tag, what's this shit?
Yeah, my headcanon is that Harada keeps trying to pull out Street Fighter Cross Tekken every time. And they're just like, come on, man.
He's one of my favorite trolls.
He's so funny.
Also one of the few developers who will just go into a big tournament and participate.
And get whooped by Lily Pichu, yeah.
That was an event match. I don't even think that was the tournament.
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I just thought it was funny. Also, he's a Rosemi fan, so I mean, bonus points there.
I hope one day when he's doing a character announcement, he wears like a shirt with a different character from an older Tekken, and then announces a completely different character.
That'd be really fucking funny. Just put like a Negan shirt on, just to really upset people. That'd be pretty good. Man, he's funny. I think the developers definitely have helped with the growth, but I also think that's partially a response to the growth they've seen in the industry. Because I mean, let's face it, Arxis has not seen as many sales in any of their video games until Strive. 1 million units. You know what I mean? So like they're a different level of company now.
Oh yeah, I don't even think BlazBlue was like that valued in the West, and we It also was due to the times, right? Like we didn't get, DLC updates, right? We got
Mm-hmm.
Continuum Shift, and then it was Continuum Shift Extend with all the DLC and what was his name? Relius
Mm.
added in. So we didn't really get to see like the latest versions of games right away. And then eventually they caught on that they could just update their games
Yup.
with,
Wait a
data
second.
packages of like, 1 or 2 gigs.
You mean to tell me these newer generation consoles, you could just push updates to them live? What?
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I think we should give some credit for sure. Like I said, A, to the grassroots, TOs and events. But B, I think a lot of the content creators in the sphere, both big and large, whether it's, somebody like Maximilian Dude or somebody like Guile Winquote, I think a lot of them have brought in plenty of non-fighting game players and turned them into fans of the genre, or at least made them casuals. And then for those people that may have felt like the fighting game scene was stale and there wasn't enough happening during the less than stellar time period, these people really added value to being a fighting game fan. And to be fair, some of the content is just good as, content as a whole, not even just as a fighting game fan. So I think that's huge.
oh yeah, I remember watching Curly Mustache. I think it was like 6 or 5, and like this little kid comes up and he's just playing big bodies with like Hulk and Sentinel, and he's just throwing forward heavies out of the blue and crossing people up.
Yeah.
Because forward heavy on Hulk has armor. And fast forward to like recently at CEO, now I see just a kid coming in, and he's whooping people on jury.
Yeah.
He's tops 12 like almost every tournament he plays. Same kid.
It's amazing.
It's like it's like a weird like, man, I'm old, but also this is beautiful.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
Just wait till Justin Wong's daughter starts,
Oh my god.
perfecting people. Tournament. I know, we all know it's coming.
Eventually.
Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually.
But also, we also like have really devoted fans of certain games. I think for a while during its earlier times, Evo had like the Make-A-Wish slot, right, where they would donate the proceedings to charity and like they would vote in games, right?
Yep.
Because I think there was the one year in I want to say 15, they voted in Melee.
Nintendo didn't shoot him?
No, it was like 2014, 2015, and then the next year it came back by popular demand. And the one year we had Ultimate Marvel come back for like its last running, which was really good.
It's pretty dope.
So yeah, no, it is. So the scene for like these games that get 4, 5, 6+ years old and people still want to like compete and play it is wild, and see it, right?
Right. I agree.
It's just wild.
Definitely a passionate fan base.
Oh yeah, and we even saw that recently with Third Strike being at Evo, which Third Strike was released in 2005, 2006. Third Strike's really old.
That's crazy.
Let me check the correct date before someone yells at me.
Yeah, get your facts straight. Bug in a rock.
I've never played Third Strike. It's like my biggest regret.
It's okay.
1999, even older.
Holy shit.
But I think that was the first iteration. I think there was a later version.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. Not sure on that.
I'm gonna say there was definitely a late. Well, it's Capcom. They probably released another iteration of Third Strike. But
Ultra Super Turbo Street Fighter Third Strike Alpha Max.
Yeah, that definitely maybe not want to play Street Fighter 4. Which version are we on?
Don't worry about it. Just smash them buttons.
Just mash them buttons. I think the last biggest thing is that if you need information on how to do something, it's very accessible to you now. Now you can, go to Dustloop and find your frame data, your strings. It's all kind of just given to you there.
True. It's not like how it used to be where you'd ask the guy, how'd you do
Yeah,
that?
you don't have to lab it yourself or be like, how are you doing this?
And he was like, oh, I'm I'm just doing this thing, and he gives you the
I'm just pressing the buttons.
And you're like, all right, thanks, bud.
Yeah. And we also have a little more response in training mode. Back in the day we didn't have, frame data in training mode or, the nice visual hitboxes so we could see where something's
What's a hurt box?
yeah, hitboxes and hurtboxes. We didn't have those.
Yeah.
We had to figure it out in real time.
What do you mean? I have a disjoint. What the fuck is that? Well, you see. Yeah, no, pre-dust looped era is crazy. Imagine asking somebody, what's the frame data on that? He's like, I don't know, man. It feels like it's still my turn. What do you mean it feels like it?
Just play a character whose turn it always is.
Exactly. Just play Soul
You never
Bad
have to
Guy.
pass. You never have to pass go with Soul Bad Guy.
Listen, it's my turn is over when I say it's over.
You just press 5K and all of a sudden it's your turn again. That's crazy.
Close slash, close slash, close slash.
Close slash, close slash. Plus unblock Fafnir.
Fafnir. God,
Right.
what a fun character.
What a great character to put on the cover.
Agreed. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Soul Blood Edge guy.
Careful now. You're gonna get the BB.
Man,
The
where's
BB
that
and GG
DLC?
haters going back and forth.
Where's that DLC? I want to watch them try to fight over the last container of Elmer's in the Super Bowl arena.
Nah, if they did a BB crossover, they'd put some kind of whammon in there. They won't do Ragnar. They want to make money.
So they'll put Soul Bad Guy in there, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
For those who are unaware. What weird gacha game was it that added Guilty Gear to it?
Cross-side, I think.
Cross-side, yes.
Counter
Cross-side
side or
added a
some
bunch
shit.
of the waifus of Guilty Gear and Soul Bad Guy for
Soul
some
with his
reason.
massive chest.
Soul and his largest cup size.
Exactly. That's okay. Since he's basically just Terry Bogard, he could also have a female version.
True. God, what does that look like? Speaking of Terry Bogard, he's dropping pretty soon.
He is dropping very soon, and I am
I know you're very excited to play KOF in your Street Fighter.
I'm so ready. I love SNK. And what's so funny is I just keep hearing the pick a top tier in the back of my head. I watched that Terry Bogard guide. What a fucked up looking character. Everything looks like he's got so many plus buttons, so many anti-airs. He's got a projectile he can use as a projectile. He can use it to beat low pros. He could use it to walk behind it. Like dude, the character has everything.
And then he cares about your health statement.
Right.
Are you okay?
It's perfect.
He's like your doctor.
It's like your best friend.
When you do get to see the doctor every 5 years.
Mental health. Well, listen, nobody here. I'm sure nobody listening to this can afford, healthcare. But it's
we got Dizzy in October.
Yeah,
we got a lot of things coming up for you.
I can finally change my gamer tag on Guilty Gear Strive from Where Dizzy though to something else. So very excited about that. Yeah, I'm honestly my timeline in October is looking hella cursed. They really said, let's drop all the things Lucky likes simultaneously so they can kill themselves. It's great. I can't wait. I'd rather have this than go another year plus not knowing whether or not Dizzy's in the game and then waiting for, SNK character and Street Fighter. Very excited.
Part of me wishes I was playing MK1 only because one of the few characters I played in MK9 was Noob Saibot. I was a big fan of Noob, Melina. I messed around a lot with Scarlet.
Okay.
Yeah. So seeing Noob come back and it's very interesting because they did a more, what I want to say, mix heavy version of Noob from the trailers, which is cool. Yeah, that whole pack is going to be interesting. They're bringing back animalities.
Oh my god.
You want to get ripped apart by a gorilla?
Maybe. The big, strong arms. I like Noob too, actually. I thought Noob was pretty cool, but I also like the idea of a character named Noob just beating the shit out of all these cool characters. Because,
I love the Portal gameplay. It was very interesting. And then if you EX it, you go through,
Yeah. He was
definitely and he had the ink clone throwing punches behind him in his strings. They're a really cool concept.
Definitely unique character.
You don't get to see a lot of that outside of Super Meter these days.
True.
What else we got coming? We got Tenkaichi.
Ah, yes, the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero return. I'm about to say something. I'm about to say something
Uh-oh.
most people aren't going to agree with, but I don't really give a fuck. So, back in the PS2 era, there was two lines of Dragon Ball games that were popular, and one greatly overshadowed the other. There was the Dragon Ball Z Budokai series, which had Budokai 1, Budokai 2, Budokai 3, and then like Infinite Road, which didn't really get
Sir.
marketing here.
Sir,
And
you're forgetting about the Game Boy Advance game that had infinite combos.
we don't talk
Come
about that
on.
one. And
Come on.
then there
It's the best one.
was Tenkaichi series, right? 1, 2, and 3. And I was in the camp that was like Budokai 2 and Budokai 3 were infinitely better than the other ones. And my reasoning always for that was they were less of an arena fighter and more of like a 3D character fighter, kind of like your Soul Caliburs. At the time, your Mortal Kombat was 3D like that, you know, and your Tekkens. And I felt like even though some characters were just inherently stronger than other because of like canonical power level and all that, the game was way more balanced. The dodge mechanic was more balanced. The key meter was a bit more balanced. Like there were juggles, there were proper combos. And then I went to play like Tenkaichi and I was like, brother, I am just mashing.
You're telling me Mr. Satan can't beat Boo?
Nah,
Or Cell?
nah, not. I mean, you probably couldn't. You could figure it out in Tenkaichi, I'm sure. Like if you were better than the other player. But speaking of which, did you see the gameplay of Weiss in this new one? Where he just like auto dodges or whatever?
Oh no.
Dude, I think this game is also going to be like very canon power level based, which is fine. I mean, there's what 100 something characters. Like,
Fighters is a different game every time I blink. I'm not gonna worry about Tenkaichi too much.
yeah, me either. I mean, honestly, let's face it. People are gonna play it. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. They're doing the custom scenes and scenarios. I'm more interested in the game because it's running in Unreal Engine, which for those of you that are plugged in, you know that that leads to mods. Lots and lots of mods. So what's probably going to wind up happening, and not probably, I'm going to go ahead and read the future here. Bing. Yep. There's going to be mod packs that's going to add a bunch of different characters to the game, not as character replacements, but they're going to extend the character menu, select. They're going to add a bunch of characters to the game. There's going to be custom mods fucking everywhere, and it's going to be its own Mugen. People are going to buy that game to essentially play a 3D Mugen. It's going to be fucking insane, and I can't wait.
Tenkaichi Sparkling Mugen.
Exactly. And I'm going to hire somebody to put me in the game. That's what's going to happen.
Put me in there. I want to fight Goku Diet Zero Black.
I heard your depression was really strong. Let me fight it. Goku's just dead. Well, you tried. Good try, Goku. Appreciate you.
The only other game I can, or DLC / game I can think of is Blazing Strike, which I actually just got my first look at that today. It looks very retro.
Yeah, it is. Actually, did you know you could play that if you donate?
Ah, that's cool.
Pretty sure on the Patreon. Yeah, you could play that ahead of time. It's
I thought it was dropping soon, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's what I played of it is it's good. It's probably like I like the impact frames, I like the supers, but like honestly, it's probably not my cup of tea. Mostly because there's not a character that I'm like could get attached to or that felt necessarily amazing to play. I think the mechanics were good. I think the art style, the direction's good. The music and stages are good. I think what they're offering is like Patreon rewards are solid. I just don't, like I said, I don't think it's for me. I'd rather like play S-Laugh Plus when that comes out, but that's a ways away. Yeah,
I just think it's very interesting to see like a retro style 64-bit looking kind of fighting game with modern, fighting game mechanics. There's a stamina bar, there's a super meter. There's no like big ass bar at the bottom.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. It's definitely unique. I would agree that it's unique in that sense. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot happening right now until like Hunter
25.
Hunter. Yeah, Hunter Hunter, Project L, aka Tuco, and then we got Fatal Fury as well.
How do you pick a worse name?
I almost want to just call it Project L just to spite Riot. I'm also going to read into the future here. that game is going to do irreparable damage to the fighting game community as a whole, as far as like the type of people in the community, but it's going to do many, many great things for the community as far as pushing it further into, you know, the spotlight.
My biggest hope is that it pushes more developers to look at, 2v2 as like a player and player v player. Because that's what we were hoping Guilty Gear tag battle would have been.
Yeah, where you actually get to play with your
we
friends.
actually get to,
yeah.
3v3. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were really hoping for that. And it's like, oh, well, this is interesting. It's funny what we got.
Yeah, it's not quite what I was hoping for. I think if Strive really went that, hey, team up with your friends and like instant tag out like Project L's doing, in a more controlled way without all the crazy assist spell things, I think it would have been for the better. But I think more variety in the fighting game scene where you can play with friends is not a bad thing. I think that having options is always a good thing. So we'll take it. One of the biggest things, I've said this forever now, one of the biggest issues with the fighting games as a whole is people suck at accountability and taking responsibility. And the fact that you cannot blame your bottom frag teammate, right, for playing poorly, and you have to
What do you
actually
mean you can't beat
hold
3
your
people?
own hell. Yeah, exactly.
You got all this meter.
What do you mean you can't handle this? I charged in there and died first without blocking. Figure it the fuck out. Right? I got mine, shithead. Get yours. Meanwhile, like, you dumped all the meter and resources and left them with nothing, but whatever. Like, it's fine. So
I definitely think the push for more ways to play and more ways to play with multiplayer in that sense is like always going to be good.
Yeah.
The fact that the baseline of the tag demo was that, or tag beta, was that they had working assists.
Yeah.
Was really good. We never really got to see, the combo side of it because of all the party gimmicks and all that, but the working assist was phenomenal, and there's nothing funnier than watching 3 Potemkins do 5 Garudas in a string.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
You're just stuck blocking for a very long time.
I will say this though about the whole assist thing. While I don't appreciate necessarily that like you can't just swap with friends and like if you die the next person goes, I do appreciate that it gives people who don't want to play fighting games but want to play with their friends a way to interact and play. Let me explain. I've had people in chat say, I don't want to play fighting games, but I will queue with you if you just take point and I can use the assists, right? Because then they could be a part of it. They can press buttons, they can do things, they could be part of the reason why you won or whatever, but they don't have to have the pressure of like actually playing the fighting game. which is nice, right? If you got like, a child or maybe a wife who wants to do something with you, a husband, but they don't necessarily do the things.
Here, press these 2 buttons, nothing else.
Yeah. When I do this, do this. But no, I think it's a unique way to handle, the multiplayer aspect of it. And I'm sure there's going to be people that only play that specific version of Strive, and that's okay.
Yeah, that is an interesting concept. Is like, would you buy the full game just to play the tag battle? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the case.
Not
but
at $60.
I do think no, not at $60. You hear that, Bandai Namco?
Oh, Bandai Namco, the $70 company.
Yeah, this game's been out how long? Give it a $10 off. No, but I do think that like people will play it. I do think that people will, and the mods are going to be great. I'm hoping that we get like the pipe sound come out.
Yeah.
Every time someone wants to tag in, you just hear.
So
I do think the mods will be phenomenal. I think the only thing I can say that would like bring the FGC a step further is just making it so that the game is more accessible via I don't want to say like easier simple combos, because simple combos don't really do what needs to be done.
Well, no, because I mean the conversation has always been, hey, if we remove mechanical depth from this game, it should make it easier. But the problem is, if you remove mechanical depth from a video game, Well,
It's
from
not fun.
fighting games. It's not even that. It's the people at the top level of play or the really strong players. Well, okay, now they no longer have to worry about the mental stack of any mechanical stuff, right?
True.
So
Yeah.
they're already better fundamentally at the video game, right? They're going to drop combos less anyways. They're going to be better at spacing. They're going to be better at frame traps. They're going to be better at understanding the state of advantage, neutral, disadvantage, knockout. Like they're going to understand all these things infinitely better than a newborn pup that just picked up the paddle for the first time or the pad.
Yeah.
So if you remove all that, they're still going to steamroll the new players. It's not going to
Yeah.
change.
Modern Controls was definitely a good like glance into that, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, Zangief can do SDP on one button. Go.
Yeah, and I don't think Street Fighter did anything wrong with the way they chose to handle it.
No.
I
They
don't.
actually did a phenomenal job
Yeah.
considering they're the first to really try.
Absolutely. And we also see people who are getting #1 on the rankings in Street Fighter's ranking with modern. Yeah, I mean, there's the Blanca, right? And if you think about it, Blanca has one of the worst modern layouts. Like they lose access to a bunch of stuff that they really need to play well in modern. Broski has a great video detailing this. But you know, one of the best Blanca player has been holding the #1 slot in a attempt in a act of defiance to Capcom to be like, hey, fix your shit, essentially. Like, this is terrible. This is rough. But which also Giga Chad move, by the way. But it's really like, again, I think that it's important to give people the option. There's never an issue giving people the option. The issue comes in when
the option is just
forced
and or just way better, right?
Right. I agree.
And that's done with like little minor tweaks and nudges to values in modern controls versus classic.
Right.
You could see it with like Chun-Li's spinning bird kick and Zangief's grabs that do significantly less damage.
Plus, I'm also not gonna lie. There's times where I played like Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, and some combos feel worse and or like more obnoxious to do on simple specials than they do using the
directional
specials.
input.
Yeah, because there's times where like you have to do like a down input, but you just did a down special, and it just feels very fucking weird when it's like I literally could have done like fireball, right? I could have done a 2-3-6 motion. I would have ended on the forward input, and then I could press down right after that. But now I have to essentially press double down to, you know, continue my combo. And if it's a frame tie 2-frame window, that feels bad.
What's this 2x KO special double down? Get out of here.
But that's the thing though. Like even 2Co, right? They have a bunch of things tied to a million different buttons and sequences, and everything is directional based as far as the specials go. And people have been complaining, hey, some of this shit feels really bad to be jamming the same direction 2-3 times in a row just to get something out when I could do a quarter circle here.
Well, another issue with that is, say you want to do a special and then you want to short hop cancel it, but if it's double down into special button and you need to jump, that's 2-2 into 8, right?
Yeah, that's rough.
So you're not going to get that cancel unless you're on like a hitbox and like, you know, you're jamming.
Well, even that, you're probably super jumping anyways.
Yeah, you're probably super jumping anyways to begin with, because I think it takes priority in most games. But this is one of those things to like consider, because like, I'll be honest, short hop canceling stuff is very valuable. The Doom bread and butter in UMVC 3 requires 3 dive kicks and a short hop lasered into super in the corner.
Right.
Full screen.
That's not even talking about KOF with its like hyper hops and, you know.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about KOF. I can't do a 4-frame double half circle input cancel after doing a grab. I wish.
I believe in you.
Not an Obsidian combo anyway.
One day.
One day, yeah, when I decide to pick up the game again with a different controller.
Yeah, let's get you a snack box or something.
Snack box. Oh man. Also, I guess I should attribute the growth of the FGC to controllers.
Ah, yes.
Accessibility, yeah. You can play on anything these days.
Even a GameCube controller.
You can bring the Potemkin box with you to.
You sure fucking can.
And slide your entire hand over all the buttons and do a 360.
I love the photo, and it'll always make me giggle, of the dude going, I just got knocked out of losers by some fucker with a Fisher-Price controller. That shit always gets me.
They got the little keyboard. It makes meow noises. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Toxic. It's so toxic.
I think that's like my new favorite thing out of Evo.
The random fuck off controllers.
All the homemade brew. Yeah, all of those.
God.
I mean, it's a catch-22, right? Because it might not work, and then you get kicked out of bracket because you don't have a stick.
Wasn't
Or
there
any form of
somebody this
controller.
last year that had like a Stafalo or something?
What
was it?
So actually, no, it was in Evo SF6 in the losers finals, I want to say, or loser semis. There was a stick issue, and they had to lose a round for it.
There was that, yeah. But I was saying, like, as far as like a weird controller, somebody had like an anime character, and like one of the buttons was on their groin. That shit was wild.
My personal favorite, and I haven't seen it yet. I want the Bass Pro Hunter controller. That's what I want.
No.
I want to see that. Yeah, with a big stick on top of
no.
it, and he's just casting.
You know, if I lost one round, not even the whole like first match, if I lost one round to somebody in a Bass controller, I would unplug, give them their GGs, shake their hand, and just DQ. I'd be done. At that point, I know that I don't need to be at that tournament. I'm good. I'm set.
Did you just card cancel with a Bass Pro controller?
This motherfucker literally spun his controller just to circle twerk on me in the controller.
That would actually work pretty good. You do like the rotation for the input? Yeah, that could work actually.
That could work. I'm not trying to fight against that. This machine is beyond human comprehension.
Did he just do Taker Astral by spinning the thing twice?
What the fuck?
He did that in one frame.
These grappler players are getting out of control.
I feel like that's perfect for the M-Geef.
The modern Geef controller special.
Do you think there's an inherent issue with pro players just taking these old refurbished games and making it an unenjoyable experience?
Are you talking about the Wazzler?
I'm absolutely talking about the Wazzler.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think it is actually integral. I think it's super important because think about this, right?
Okay.
You boot up the game, you're a new player. This happened to me, so this is where I'm coming from. You boot up the game,
Gotcha.
You're a new player, you get to fight against somebody. You're like, oh, who's this person that's like level fucking 850,000 and I'm level 10,000 over here. This is crazy. I'm gonna fight them. So you fight them, you boot up, every single button you press, counter, and your health bar just depletes itself. But you see some of the wildest, craziest movement you've ever seen in your life, and you're like, can that be me someday? And then you get to play them 100 more times. You go 0 and 100.
Oh yeah, you're free low.
Yeah. But okay, but here's the thing. You make it your goal at that point to say, all right, this person's obviously goated. My goal to beat them once. Not win a match. Take a round.
Just one round.
Just one round.
One round. Yep.
Match 80. You take one round off of them and you jizz in your pants and you're happy for the rest of the day. You live off that high for the next like set of weeks.
I took one round off Jay Wong.
I took one round off. Yeah, the Waz.
And then I refunded like he told me to.
No, I think it's important. I think it gives you insight into where you could possibly be and like a milestone. Like, oh shit, I actually beat them this time when I got the run back, right? Or I don't know.
I attributed to the same concept as like you're throwing, you know, you're doing like a pickup game of football in the park with your friends, right? Yeah. And then Tom Brady walks in and you're like, can I join? And you're like, yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Please.
You're not gonna tell him no.
No.
Right.
You're gonna play with Tom Brady. You're gonna lose to Tom Brady, but you're gonna
play with him. Tom Brady's gonna throw an 80-yard pass to a 9-year-old.
And you're gonna have a good time doing it too.
And you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't even think it takes so long for them to get out there.
I think the only time it's bad is if you have a player that only cares about winning and literally nothing else. But those players are going to get their ass whooped so badly. They're going to one and done the Wazzler. They're going to keep one and dunning until they find somebody they can repeatedly beat up on until they lose and then just like continue. And their opinion honestly doesn't really matter. So.
Right. It's the quitter mentality. But I feel like the quitter mentality kind of came and went a little bit with 2014 to, 2022. I want
I
to say.
don't know. I just had 3 rage quits in the same day yesterday in 3 different games. No, fuck this. So I booted up MVC2. I was running Roll, Zangief, and Akuma, right?
Oh, I mean, it's
This dude was
it's
running
self-induced.
Magneto, Psylocke, and Sentinel. Okay.
Classic.
I beat them. One in
Yeah.
like middle of the second round, they quit. I was like, all right, fine. I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm gonna go practice my Street Fighter. I'm gonna rank up since this takes like 200.
Oh, did you get
wins.
the message?
Yeah.
Did you get the ding? Yes.
I threw the person 3 times in a row. I hit them with a hooligan, and then I meatied them, and they just DC'd. So then I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm gonna go play Strive. First fucking round against a Faust, I was twerking on this Faust. It was terrible. He did not get to play the fucking video game. And again, same thing, he DC'd. So I went to a local Discord and I was like, y'all, can I get some matches?
Can I finish
please?
a match?
Can I please get some matches? Then I like practiced for 45 minutes, but I was like, this is terrible. No, I think there's a epidemic. And again, this could probably be covered in more detail another time, but I think there's an epidemic of lag switchers and pluggers.
Well, at that point, you just have to make the loss be counted against them, right?
Absolutely.
They DC or leave.
Absolutely. I think there should, I don't agree with
it's different from like a MOBA or like a shooter, right?
Right.
It's not just, it's not like a team of people. It's one person.
It's one person.
We can hold them accountable.
Or even if it doesn't count against them, because I understand things happen, give the other player the win. Give them their MR. Give them
half a win. Who cares, right?
Yeah, give them something, right? Or like, fuck this. Even just give them like a counter next to their name where it's like how many players they've made DC. How many people have they gotten?
Make it shine overhead in the lobby so everyone can see it.
Right, exactly.
Big letters.
Give them something for having to put up with that. And I think people will be like way more on board with it. But
Absolutely.
It's a struggle.
My favorite lobby system was, and Guilty Gear Strive's lobby system isn't bad. The ranking system's bad, I'd argue. Because you can have a bunch of people come together and watch a match, right?
Yeah. I mean, there needs to be some
assuming
work
they hit the spectate button before it starts. Right?
It needs some work. It definitely needs some work. But it's not the end of the world. But their rank system is the worst rank system I've personally ever had to put up with in any video game.
My favorite version of like the player match lobby system was UMVC3, surprisingly, and you'll never get to experience this. But back in the day, we would get 4, 6, 8 people in a lobby. And we'd all be watching the match, commenting on how this person's getting their ass handed to them. Yeah, and we were waiting for our turn, and that was like how it went. So like you had a movie going on while you're learning stuff, and it was great. That's my favorite lobby experience. Is the cool. Spectate while waiting.
That does sound pretty cool. Although I could definitely see like if that was mandatory and you couldn't play matches on the side or like practice, I could see how certain personality types would be like, bro, I just want to play the fucking game.
Well, yeah, then you got the Blaze Blue lobby system where it's like a bunch of little arenas you can enter.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 as well.
I think for like the whole avatar based system, I think Grand Blue versus Rising has one of the best ones right now, in my opinion. That one's up there. And then I mean, I haven't done the avatar system for Street Fighter 6. I just do the practice and training mode, get a match. Like, life is good. When I boot up in Street Fighter, life is good. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't forget Dragon Ball FighterZ has one as well.
True.
Which I don't remember. It's weird. I don't remember what it looks like. I just remember there's different platforms for the menu.
Yeah, well, there was like the hub too. You like load into the hub and then you can go to the different things or just use the menu. BB Tags was fine.
Yes, BB Tags was fine.
Yeah.
I also had the same spectate option as most other good lobby system games.
Yeah.
I do think I haven't really done much of SF6 lobby systems, but I think it's not quite there. It's more like here's extra rooms for you and your friends,
Well, the actual like custom room features perfectly fine. You could set it up so that there's like a practice at the, like for example, instead of having to set up a room just for practice mode or for match mode, you could set it up so that like just the bottom slot is for practice and then the top 3 slots are for gaming, right? And you could change your character really easily in the menu, the music, everything. I think their custom rooms are perfect. I don't want them to change that. It's very, very straightforward.
Yeah, most of my rooms have been one-on-ones, so I don't really have to like
Fair.
But I do think that the future of the FGC, you want to see more open ranking and lobby systems, just
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah. Oh, and supposedly, if 3v3 is to go on and the rumors are to go on, Guilty Gear will be fixing their ranked system. So let's hope, let's keep our fingers crossed that
they read the survey.
yeah, let's hope that the screenshots and everything are true and it's not just the 3v3 getting the rank system, it's going to single too. I'm gonna allow myself to get my hopes up. I believe in ArcSys. I believe in ArcSys, so yeah.
I believe in triple Garuda.
Man.
You don't mentally recover.
At that point you just gotta put your sticks down.
Get a bunch of flying Potemkins.
Garuda.
That was my favorite update. At least my favorite part about that update in particular.
So much fun. I can't wait to stream more of that.
Yeah, so what is our next tournament? I believe there's one in Atlanta, isn't there? I mentioned it on TNS.
Fuck if I know. I, for some reason in my head, I thought the next tournament was ArcSys World Tour for like the longest time. And I know that's just not correct because we're in
DreamHack.
DreamHack, yeah.
We got DreamHack coming up. What's the date for DreamHack here?
This is a good ass question.
October 4th through 6th, 2024.
Okay.
So, yep, in a couple weeks here.
That's fine.
Actually, not even a couple weeks, like 10 days, right? Yeah.
Damn. Time be flying by. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to actually miss that one. Maybe I can watch it while I'm traveling for work.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Time will tell. Time will tell.
I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to say before we go ahead and say our goodbyes?
Yeah, thank you for sticking through for the whole hour. We're kind of new to this a little bit, and we greatly appreciate the support. If there's anything you'd like us to like touch on or include in an episode, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, definitely sound off on the comments. I mean, I'm gonna put, for those of you watching on the video, I'm gonna go ahead and put our socials on screen. So if you want to ping us with anything or DM us or anything like that, feel free to do so with anything you want us to cover. We obviously have plans for the future on things we'd like to talk about, but we're more than willing to take into consideration what people will say. I'm glad
we're happy to yap.
I'm absolutely happy to yap. And again, for those of you that have been around, at least my stuff for a while, you know that I am a yap-tacular piece of shit. So I am great. I gotta edit that out. We are.
Oh, you have a lot to edit out if you're gonna go that far.
Don't
worry.
We'll see. But yeah, no, I had a good time. I'm glad we got to do this. Shuckleburg and I have been talking about running a podcast for years at this point.
It's
been like a year and a half, right?
Longer than that. We talked about potential DLC for Smash back in the day.
Damn, you're right. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute, but the stars aligned. Schedules worked out, so we've made a commitment to do this. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. And like he said earlier, it's gonna be a bi-weekly thing for a while, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for coming to the corner Crossup, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
And hopefully not in the corner. Until next time.
Bye.